Persons killed in crashes involving large trucks by age goes from 14 to 16, with the latest data being 16. Like I keep telling you, that's out of 17 will be out in October. So, 17 and under. The number is, in 2014, 208 by large trucks involved in crashes, fatalities, 17 and under. In 15, that was 240, 5.9%. In 16, the number went down, 123. What do you think the ages were the highest? Now I'm going to give you the age limit, okay? It goes from 70 to 75, and I'll let you know there is a category for 76 and over. But from 17 to 75, the number of crashes, and we'll stick with 16 only. I won't tell you what 14 was because their numbers are really high. So, what do you think the ages between 17 and 75? What do you think the worst age limit is for fatalities in that bracket? 17 to 75. What do you think?
21 to 25.
21 to 25. Next.
What the folks that are in their 30s, mid to late 30s?
They don't put the crap
Well, you're close. Anybody else? All right.
40 to 45.
What did you say?
40 to 45.
40
Mike.
to 45. Okay.
What's that?
What'd you say?
Mike?
All right, so here we go. 46 to 55 is 645 fatalities. Now, the reason being that age is there was some backup data to it. You're seasoned. The average driver is seasoned at that age, okay? Pretty much, you're comfortable. You're pretty much, you think you know what you're doing, and you're relaxed with everything. When we were talking about texting and driving, men are the worst, not women. It's men. Businessmen in cars are worse than women texting. The next age, fatalities, is 56 to 65.
So you're not talking just people driving trucks.
People that were involved,
Involved, okay.
with large trucks.
Okay, thank
I'm not talking about the truck driver. It's 56 to 65. Now, that was 645. 56 to 65 is 550. 66 to 75, it decreased to 265. They're testing people now. There is a bill in Congress in Pennsylvania. I'm not sure if it passed yet, but I think it will be. For folks that are 80 and above, they'll have to be retested. It's kind of called the silver something law that they'll have to be tested, as you know. And listen, we will all get there sooner or later, all right? It's just, you're going to get there. I know you know that you'll see some folks that maybe their reaction time is a little slower. So you have to be a little bit mindful of those. They may not make a mistake on a lane change, because some of them, where we talked about this for all these presentations that we're going through, some of them don't think to look over their shoulder because that post behind their seat is a blind spot for them. So they really need to take a look and look at this, because instead of looking out that mirror, it just doesn't work. So the older folks will be tested. Maybe it'll be starting in 2019. They'll start doing that when you reach the age of 80. People have a tendency, they don't want to give up that independence. And that's a hard thing to do, is to take the keys away from somebody that's been driving all their years. Now they have to take the keys away, and somebody has to be very reliable to take them somewhere. So but Pennsylvania has identified that law. There's some laws that already have it in place, so. The next one here, we're going to talk about the actual guidance that came out. Remember, I sit on a lot of boards with Federal Motor Carrier Safety along with CVSA, and we finally got some nailed down information so that the personal conveyance is not utilized to advance loads, but to utilize it the proper way. And this is the definition of it that was put out May 31st of 2018. And we'll go through it.
You know, what happened is,
Francis.
you know, how many here use PC when they need to? Just that when PC first came out, you know, many years ago, FMCSA, they didn't have a defined definition. You know, all it said was to be able to go to a restaurant. The first ruling was, if you start PC, you have to end it at the place where you started it. You know, it's not to advance a load or anything like that. With the implementation of the ELDs, what's happened is compliance officers are seeing PC more and more. You never did it on your paper logs, right? Nobody. Very rarely did you ever see it on paper logs. All the logs that I ever reviewed, I never saw PC. All the logs that I've ever done as a driver, I never utilized PC.
I didn't know it was available when we were on paper.
It was, but nobody used it.
We didn't log it. We just didn't log it.
Right, nobody
Yeah,
used
we
it.
just didn't log
Why? And because paper, they call it the comic book, right, or the story. So, you know, if you were using PC, you know, nobody really ever needed that to use it, to utilize it, because you manipulated your hours on paper. Now with the electronic logs, you can't. You know, that is a tell the truth, you know, device right now. There is no fudging the logs anymore because of the ELDs. Now, some companies have opted not even to have that option on PC. I know clients that I have. And actually, I'm thinking of doing it, one, because they're abusing the PC. So I can go into the system and not even have that option on the ELD and just shut it down. You know, they're abusing it. You know, so companies have an option to do it. There are some companies don't allow drivers to use PC at all. When you're out hours, you're out hours, and that's it, whether you're sitting in a customer or not. So what they did is they changed the rulings a little bit. All right, what is the appropriate use of PC? Time spent traveling from a driver's in-route lodging, such as a hotel or a truck stop, to a restaurant or entertainment facilities, commuting between the driver's terminal and his or her residence. So if you're here,
Please, some of us back here are having difficulty parsing your words.
Mhm.
So when you're speaking and facing towards the screen to read it, I'm missing some things.
no, that's, you know, let me see how I can do this, because I can't read it from here. I can't see that good. So I'll try to project a little bit more.
What part did you not hear, sir?
I just want to make sure that we're all getting,
Is everybody
All of
getting,
this.
the information?
Yeah, they got here.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so we'll make sure that, what's that?
Turn your hearing aid up.
All right, so what they're saying, you can use it going from the terminal to your house, okay? That's basically what they're saying. But now, going from your house back to the terminal, technically you're under dispatch because you're going back there to get a load. That's what that PC definition is in that instance.
What are they saying is the time that you're allowed to go from, you leave the yard and you're gonna go home?
Guess what? There is no
No
limit.
time?
Right.
No
Ours
time?
shuts off at 45 minutes,
No
but,
time.
but coming back,
Oh, now, if you're
You're on
coming
duty.
back.
Now you're on duty.
If you're coming back on dispatch, because you're being dispatched.
so you don't wanna be dispatched till you get there.
Well,
But you're still
but
under
you're-
dispatch.
But here's the
because
deal.
You're going to
You're
work.
going
telling
to
somebody,
work.
you're starting 8 o'clock, your load's ready 8 o'clock in the morning, you leave your house. From when you leave your house until the time you get to the yard, you're on the dispatch.
Because you gotta load.
So
Yeah.
the best way to look at it is when you're done, to go home to your residence. Not really a time limit.
Right, you're on the
Once you
PC.
come back, there is no personal command.
Correct, because you're
Is
under
there a
dispatch.
well, is there a mileage?
There is no
No
mileage.
mileage. That's what they changed. That's what this is all about. That's why we're going over it. Everybody hear that? We're going over that because there is no time limited. There is no mileage limited, okay? You got an answer, you got a question back there, sir?
Now, these are owner operators.
Go ahead.
Personal conveying to go get our trucks repaired.
That's your personal time.
Okay, I just wanna make
No,
sure.
but I thought there was a thing in there that said you can't,
You can't take it to the
He
truck.
is the owner operator, he owns that truck.
I got dinged for it
Yeah.
a month
He
ago.
did.
I got cited for it. I live 17 miles from the shop.
On the
And
day
they
he
said,
took off,
you cannot
he
be
did.
personal conveyance going to the shop.
he
And it
actually
says
took
it,
day
the
off.
next one, where it said would not qualify, that next group, it says taking the truck to a
You an
shop.
owner operator?
I am.
Yeah.
But a company driver bringing it to the shop, you're on
That's-
duty,
yeah,
you're
right.
bringing it to us.
But I'm an owner
You were
operator,
different.
and they said, and it says it right down there, you can't do it. Because I read that whole thing when it came out the day after, and I got cited for it.
Were you at your house, or you were leaving out of here?
I left my house,
He took the day off
Oh,
to do this,
yeah,
so he
I
has
left my
nothing to do
house,
with us.
drove 17 miles, and halfway there, they got me. And he said, where are you going? Why are you off duty driving? I said, I'm going 4 miles up the road. And he's like, nope, you gotta be on duty. I said, are you kidding me?
Boy, well, underneath that next line there, see,
He's
he's
performing.
performing mechanical duties, so that's different.
Hey,
Yeah, but it's
I'm
our
not
personal-
accusing
But
this,
it's,
by the way.
but it's our personal vehicle.
Yeah, I know it's your personal vehicle. I mean, you can try, what's it, Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can try data queuing it, we'll see what
I'm
happens.
not getting a response yet, but,
Yeah. Is it
You
pending?
may not.
huh?
You may not get a
Yeah,
response.
some of
on
my
it.
pendings take
Yeah.
2 months.
I mean, I see where it becomes your own personal vehicle.
Yeah.
But they look at it under 396 or 393 because you're servicing the vehicle. And that's how did he write it up down underneath that? Do you remember?
I
how he
don't
wrote it?
remember the exact numbers and whatnot, but I mean, the bad thing, like, I was bobtailing.
Yeah, I know. So you're not laden or you don't have a vehicle on you? You're
No
unladen?
dispatch, not
Yeah.
laden, no trailer, nothing. Driving 17 miles. I
Yeah,
get
see,
cited.
you know, when they put that in there, because that's the next statement you're going to read. I mean, there was one that everybody flagged that because of the owner-operator individuals like yourself and somebody else in the back. But I'll be anxious to see if we can win. You can win that. I mean, you're putting in for a data queue, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I did.
We'll see.
Yeah, rolling, you know,
I even sent his truck
easy
registration,
way around that,
everything,
tell
that
him
it
to go
was
and
his
get
own vehicle.
groceries.
What's that?
You just tell a guy you didn't get it, go for groceries. Hey, I know guys that used to do that. And
The
drove personal
fireman.
truck, that's all they owned was a truck.
Yep.
Well, that's their, again, I mean, that is your arm. I mean, it's your vehicle. That's all you have.
Yeah.
So there's really.
Well, I'll never say I'm
No,
going to the shop
I
again.
understand.
Go
But
to
I
the
mean,
store.
Yeah, I'm going to the store.
That's your personal.
Why are you
vehicle.
using that?
You meant you were going
I
shopping.
mean, you could drive. You got to remember this. You could drive from California
Yeah.
to
I'm going shopping.
Connersville.
Well, yeah, because when you buy a truck, you're able to do whatever you want,
That's right.
you
So.
know, to get it to where you need to get it.
Yeah,
without
I'm a little surprised the guy gave you that. You know,
Two of them.
yeah,
Two of them. I said, wait a minute.
yeah.
This is my truck, my time. I'm not going to work. I'm bobtailing. Look at the screen. There's no dispatch.
Yeah,
Well,
that's,
gotta be on duty.
that's a cheap shot. I mean,
I was
really,
like,
it's a
come
cheap
on.
shot. He really read the line. But
He was picking on you. He didn't like your truck.
You're fighting it, right?
all right, so we're on what? Time number 3.
Yep.
All right, number 3.
All right, time traveling to a nearby reasonable, safe location.
Nothing wrong with my truck. Full level one. Except that.
All right, hold up, folks, so everybody can hear it. Line 3.
Yep, time spent traveling to a nearby reasonable safe location to obtain required rest after loading or unloading. Now, this is something a little bit different. You know, unladen was always very vague. Unladen means bobtail, correct? Unlading also means an empty trailer. Once you have freight on there, you're not unlading anymore. But in this statement, it is actually stating time driving under personal conveyance must allow a driver adequate time to require rest in the ordinance of the off-duty regulation. You're a shipper. You're making a pickup. Your time is running out. So now you have to take your 10-hour break. Right? You have a half hour to the nearest safe haven, let's just say. You know you don't have that time. You only got 15 minutes left in your 11. Or maybe you got plenty of driving time, but you don't have any 14-hour time left. You start taking your break on the shipper's property. They come out, knock on your door, say, we're locking up, you gotta leave.
Get out, yeah.
Right? You can use personal conveyance to go to the nearest safe haven. That does not mean go to your favorite truck stop 50, 60 miles away.
Well, it doesn't, it also, it's gotta have facilities. 'Cause it doesn't mean.
That doesn't mean a safe haven. Safe doesn't have to have facilities. That's not a safe haven.
Well, safe haven.
That's your convenience, but a safe haven
Is okay,
Safe
so,
haven is anywhere you
You
can
have to
park
travel
the truck
portion of the highway.
safely and legally.
okay, so you park on the side of the road with no facilities. you get
No,
up-
that's not a safe
That's
haven.
not a safe haven.
But you can take that.
Side of the road is not a safe
No,
haven.
you gotta be you gotta be careful with the side of the road on
That's
the.
what I'm saying.
You gotta be careful with that. Now, let me tell you something about this side of the road stuff, because this is not gonna fly with a lot of state troopers do not like to be parked on the side of the road. With big ramps, because they know that's a possibility of a crash could happen. Somebody could rear end you. I mean, they do not like it. Listen, I work a lot with a lot of state troopers. They don't want it. They will write you up. So if you have the cove out, like on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, we have some coves that are like that, right? You're not on the shoulder. So that pretty much is a safe haven. Sometimes you may see a little picnic bench, may have a trash can there. I'm not saying they got facility to utilize, okay, with a porta potty or anything like that, but they have a cove, there may be a little picnic bench in the back. That's considered a safe haven. This strip along the highway is not.
Okay.
So
you-
remember that.
So
okay?
that's the closest spot that would be considered a safe.
Well, you may have to go a little further to get a little, because, and
I'm
I'll
saying because then you get fines for taking a leak outside.
that all goes with that too. Then we also have, we have the line where we knock on the door. I sent you that as well. We could bring that up too, because they're gonna wanna know about that,
Which one? Oh,
about moving the vehicle,
Yep.
okay? So again, let's all be clear about the safe haven. I mean, listen, I don't think there's not gonna be any compliance officer knows that when you're in personal conveyance, getting to somewhere where you can, maybe there is a TA 20 miles down the road, or maybe there is a Petro, or maybe there's a 76, or which ones do you really like to use?
We use pilot flag.
Okay, pilot, okay.
but to move from a facility maybe to a truck stop, or there's malls where you can park at, Walmart's, things like that.
No Walmart.
That's what I tell
No
myself. I
Walmart.
don't care
That's
as
probably
long
the
as they have
best.
a
The
bathroom.
the Walmarts, those are not the Walmart's rule, it's the township or
Township
borough
rule.
that it's in.
Well, a lot of them now, they're I mean, there's been pictures all over the internet. They're
Yeah, I know.
changing tires, they're
Yeah,
putting
yeah.
cables through the tires and
Yeah.
stuff. And there's a tag on it that says call a towing company and they want cash.
Yeah,
That's the township.
township.
Not
Not
Walmart.
Walmart. See, Walmart's gotta be friendly,
Walmart's truck friendly.
because they have trucks come in there. But it's the township that you park, that Walmart is parked their location into, or built their location store. My township, I live in Berks County, there's 3 Walmarts that in my county that have the sign up there, no truck parking. It doesn't say by Walmart, it says Washington Township underneath the bottom, no truck parking. Because honestly, listen, you're professional drivers, we're drivers. I understand where there is, some place to park. The people that live in townships don't want to see 4, 5, 6, 7 trucks parked in their shopping center, because not everybody is as nice as you guys. All of a sudden you see trash from the bottom of the ground, then trash over here. And you know, I don't have to explain it to you. There's no sense to get, everybody knows. And that's what kind of ruined that opportunities to park at the Walmarts, because they're getting ripped by the ownership of the lot, because Walmart does not own property. Walmart owns the store, they don't own the property. I mean, they're not that, Sam Walmart didn't do that. So,
Yep. Do you, anybody know, I don't know if it's still like this, but I remember up around Buffalo, that truck stop. You know, everybody used to stop in Buffalo before they went over to Peace Bridge. I can't remember the truck stop's name, but there was Walmart right next to it. If you remember, there were signs, no parking, no truck parking in Walmart. Because that truck stop would get filled up, people would park there. I know they've redone it over the years, I haven't been up there in probably 10 years, but I can remember, you know, people would park in there to overflow, especially, you know, in the middle of the night, you know, because they're waiting to go into, before the brokers open up, so they would park in that Walmart parking lot, which is right, literally next to the truck stop. You know, and that wasn't Walmart, that was the township that was doing that. So it even went back then.
Okay, this safe conveyance, or safe haven,
Mm-hmm.
a rest area in Pennsylvania.
Safe haven.
You're allowed to park in for 2 hours.
yeah, well,
They don't,
There was a guy, there was one state trooper up on 80 that used to.
is it a rest stop, or is it just strictly cars, or you can park your truck
Oh
there?
no, you can park your truck in, but it says right on the sign,
Well,
2 hour parking only.
Yeah, now
Or
that.
something like that.
Pennsylvania renamed a lot of their stops to
Yeah.
safety break.
Yeah, safety break, and
Oh,
they're
they
also,
did.
the folks that are on the turnpike, you know, where the restaurants are, the Sunoco's and all, you know, where the trucks are all lined up. I understand there's also gonna be a time limit there, but I don't get that, because I
it's
see
gonna be
guys,
pretty tough to enforce.
I don't know how they're gonna
They can
enforce
enforce
that,
it,
you
but
know.
they're gonna lose a lot.
We already have a parking shortage anyway.
Well, I mean, listen, are you guys making the reservations for the guys that are laying over to sleep? Does anybody do that?
Oh, I love the paid parking.
Are we making reservations?
No, I've never had to make reservations.
Because that
I've
is
been
now,
lucky enough to
that is
always
coming
have-
into play, you know.
Yeah, I
I
really.
mean, so
like
we
that.
you have to make a reservation, because we're getting, a lot of our customers are getting thrown out because operations didn't make a reservation for them to get in there so they could park.
What another racket.
It's,
Yeah, it is.
it's,
It's
the
another
world has
racket.
changed, it's
Well,
changed.
see, like us that haul insulation, we do job sites.
Yeah, right,
90% of the
right,
job sites are fence,
Right.
fence park.
Right.
And, like I say, I had a couple yell at me the other day when I was down in, DC, because I had to sit on the road to get unloaded. Well, he was gonna fine me if I was there more than 2 hours.
Yeah, but you're on a job site, right?
He said it doesn't matter.
Didn't have a permit, do we need a permit to do
Well,
that?
see, I didn't get into that.
The
but-
the job coordinator, they have to have
They have to have a permit or
because
something.
we went through that with this, flatbed installation up in Greensburg.
Uh-huh,
They ran on 30, ran on old 119. Where are you gonna put a truck at on, right there by the courthouse?
yeah, sure. Right.
You know, we just had that problem over in Pittsburgh. We had to turn around just this week because there was no room
Uh-huh.
to unload the freight, so we had to take it back to
Yeah,
their.
Rockville Warehouse, where I was at, where they changed
Yeah,
that.
so.
All right, we're into, what line we in?
Number 4.
Number
All
4.
right, moving a CMV request of a safety official during your off-duty time. This is another one that's okay. You're parking at rest area, off-ramp, whatever it is. They come over and knock on your door, and I see it every morning coming up the turnpike, the Jersey Turnpike, because it is so crowded. They're parking on the either off-ramp or on-ramp to the turnpike. By 6 o'clock in the morning, the cops there knocking on the doors. Now, so if a cop, and you're on your off-duty or you're a sleeping person, he tells you to move, you can use personal conveyance to advance yourself into a parking spot. You know, unfortunately, that if you were on the on-ramp to get onto the turnpike, you really can't back up to find a place to park. You would have to move to the next rest area or something, or to the next safe haven to complete your 10-hour break. So that's one thing, you know, in the driver's favor, because before, if you didn't have that PC and a cop asked you to move, you're automatically driving on duty. and you have to start your 10-hour break all over. So they did the adjustment on this.
Now, PC